At the onset, I would like to welcome all of you, and I would like to thank the Times Group for taking this initiative along with MMRDA and to organize this town hall. I hope and I'm sure that today's discussion will go a long way in not only enlightening the people about what has happened in the infrastructure sector till date, but also throw new light, bring in interesting conversations and discussions on what should be the path forward, how these infrastructure projects should be taken forward, how these infrastructure projects should fend for themselves, how more resources can be raised for doing these infrastructure projects, etc. Friends, a lot of work is happening in MMR, and essentially MMRDA plays the leading role and a coordinating role in taking the infrastructure forward. One of the jobs of MMRDA is to imagine, and that imagination is it has to imagine what is the requirement of infrastructure and how do you take it forward. MMRDA does several things towards this end. So it is essentially a planning authority, and while it prepares a regional plan, it is also today the country's largest special planning authority, and it also prepares a mobility plan. MMRDA today is guided by three simple catchwords. First one is rebooting of Mumbai. Second one is reshaping of MMR region. And third is we have a catch line which is called as Mumbai in minutes. As we say, it is rebooting Mumbai. We acknowledge that Mumbai is already very developed, and Mumbai is and shall be the financial capital of this country. And it is a world-class city, it is a world city, and it shall remain that, but it needs to be rebooted. As times change, certain things need to change. When we say reshaping MMR, we appreciate that MMR is also growing. It's getting shaped, and then we intend to reshape it in a way that will be most suitable for the requirements of the MMR region and the residents of that area. So we don't say that we'll make it world-class. We say we'll make it world-class, but more than that, we say that we'll make it something which is, which resonates with the people who live there. That's the idea. And the third thing is Mumbai in minutes. So that's a very ambitious goal, because in Mumbai, when you start from one corner and you go to another corner, at that corner, you do not know how long it takes. Sometimes it takes 20 minutes, 10 minutes. Sometimes the same distance takes as much as an hour or so. So the idea is that you should have a guaranteed time span from one point of the city to another point of the city. Within 59 minutes, we will not cross an hour. So these are the three fundamental guiding principles under which this entire infrastructure development thing is focused. These things provide a level playing field. So if I live in South Bombay, I have greater access. But if I do not live in South Bombay, but I live somewhere in, say, in Thane or in New Bombay or in the suburban regions, then I have lesser access. That should not happen. I should be able to reach wherever I want. So first is to provide a level playing field. Second is to see that after level playing field is done, the growth and development that is happening in Mumbai is sustainable. So when I say sustainable, it means that it should be, the country has a lofty goal of net zero. So it should go towards net zero. It also means that it should be sustainable economically, it should be sustainable financially, it should be sustainable to us as we use it. For instance, there are certain cultures where the weather is such that long distance walking is suitable. In a hot and humid weather, maybe walking has to be limited to a particular distance. It cannot be that long distance. So that is one thing that we would like to do. The third thing is that as you move towards this concept of enablement, and as you move towards this concept of level playing field, then you also think that how do you make it in such a way that public amenities, the standard of public amenities goes up, and therefore the role of public transport, public commuting, public spaces, open spaces, all comes in. So I'll deal with all these subjects in a very short, in a few words. As far as public transport is concerned, MMRDA is into that in a very big way. And I would like to tell all of you that today, the 337-kilometer metro network that is being constructed is the largest single initiative taken by any country at any given point of time. The other one which comes close is the Riyadh Metro, who aimed 61 kilometers of running line at one given point of time. So that is the initiative which we have taken. And now I think this 337 kilometers have grown. I can see the MD of CITCO here. So they are having 4 lines. That's also a part of MMR. So that will add to it. Then we have got the Thana Ring Metro, which has been sanctioned very recently by Government of India. And the Honorable Prime Minister was here to lay the foundation stone. So that is another metro line. So several metro lines are going up. And I think in the next few years, we will be having something like 450 odd kilometers of metro line, which would be going ahead. Within this transport and connectivity, this metro is going to be the largest contributor towards public transport. Today, in Mumbai, 80% of the transport is, is public transport. People travel by public transport modes. But actually, 80% of the vehicles is the reverse. That is for the private transport. So those who are moving in public transport, they are moving in public transport because of the lack of choice. And when you bring in the metro lines, then you are essentially giving people a choice. The metro doesn't replace the bus. The bus service which is being operated by BEST needs to be there. Every city needs to have a bus transport, and every city needs to have a quality bus transport. It does not replace that. The bus service does not replace the auto rickshaw, because the auto rickshaw is also required for small distances, and the auto rickshaw driver puts his own labor, his own capital, and he doesn't come for any subsidy. He doesn't ask for subsidy for his, for instance, petrol. So he also is there. And say the suburban trains also will continue to be there. The state government, that is MMRDA and CITCO, they also contribute to the growth of the suburban railway by contributing 50% of the equity that is put in those projects. So all the projects that are being done by the various railway corporations, whether it is MRVC or whether it is even the Government of India, the state government through these organizations is putting in 50%. So rail transport is one of the biggest initiatives that we have taken, and now the rail connectivity is not only in the entire, not only do we have the, the connectivity from within the Mumbai suburban region, and not only do we have this connectivity which goes all the way up to Gujarat and Gujarat border, but we also have the connectivity which is going down towards Raigad and beyond. So that is a kind of local rail connectivity which is being created. And we also are having MRVC, which is doing several other rail connectivity throughout the metropolitan region. We are also having the bullet train project, which will be connecting Mumbai with Surat and thereby to Ahmedabad. So generally it is called as a Mumbai-Surat-Ahmedabad corridor. But here it is also connecting Palghar, it's also connecting Virar. So it's also connecting places within the city. And it is bringing these places. So BKC and Palghar will become neighbors. Just as the Atal Setu has made Ulve and Mumbai neighbors, similarly this will make BKC and Palghar neighbors, BKC and Virar neighbors. This is a very important point to grasp. And the change in this, in terms of opportunity and in terms of enablement, is something I think we cannot, bring it down. Furthermore, MMRDA, in addition to the metro network, is also building a network of roads. MMRDA, in fact, prepares a comprehensive transport plan, and that comprehensive transport plan makes a full transport plan of the metropolitan region. An approximate 80,000 crore rupees per year is required if we are going to provide the transport that is required, the connectivity that is required. Obviously, we do not have that kind of money. But more important than that is that do we have that kind of technical expertise? Do we have that kind of general manpower? Do we have that kind of raw materials and resources? For instance, do we have that many number of rocks, bricks, cement, iron, and so forth? So this is a huge challenge that is being faced. And this is one challenge which we are trying to adopt. And in the comprehensive transport plan, we are trying to connect the entire region. Now, this concept of this connectivity is also such that it talks about the following. Number one is walkability. Whatever is walkable has to be walkable. It is the urban local body which maintains the footpaths and makes it walkable. As we go beyond that, local traffic remains local. So through and through traffic should not become local. That is the concept. So therefore, the local roads are maintained by the local municipal corporations. But then through and through. So for instance, there is a coastal road which is being built on the western corridor, on the western seafront. That coastal road is connected with the Eastern Freeway by the means of the, so there are two connectivities which are being thought of. One is a connectivity which will come from the Eastern Freeway to Marine Drive, that is Orange Gate Tunnel, for which the work has started. And the other connectivity is one which is being thought of from Worli to Shivdi, and thereby connecting with the Atal Setu straight down to Navi Mumbai. So that is another connectivity. This is like one ring road. So every east-west corridor, as we go on north, will create a sort of a ring, and this will make it possible for through and through traffic to go forward. So then you have the Bandra-Worli Sea Link. Beyond that, the work of the Bandra-Warsaw Sea Link is on. Beyond that, the road from Warsaw to Dahisar is ongoing. Beyond that, the road from Dahisar to Bhayandar is ongoing. Beyond that, MMRDA is planning a road from Bhayandar to a place called Fountain in that same place. Beyond that, a tunnel is being planned which will come from Fountain to Gaimukh. Beyond that, we are building the Thana Coastal Road. Again, the work has started. Then beyond that, the Thana Coastal Road will join to Anand Nagar. Then there is a road which will come from Anand Nagar to the Eastern Freeway. So these types of connectivity is being thought of. And this connectivity within 1 hour from this place. Then today, I'm not so sure whether I'll be able to reach T2. But once this project is complete, then all you need to do is to get into the coastal road, take the Worli-Shivdi elevated corridor, and then enter into the MTHL, or take the Orange Gate Tunnel, enter into the freeway, and then enter into the MTHL. As you get down to the MTHL, CIDCO is constructing the CIDCO Coastal Road, which is called as the Ulwe Coastal Road, and that will connect into the Navi Mumbai International Airport and the Palm Beach Road. So, in a span of 40 minutes, signal-free, one shall be able to reach the new airport that is proposed. This is the level of thinking. Certain people also keep talking about the, roads and roads leading to private transport. For them, I have to say this. A road costs roughly 80 crores a kilometer. When you make a greenfield road, it costs something like 80 crores a kilometer. A metro costs something like 400 crores a kilometer. So a road is cheaper. But the more important part of the road is this, that the road creates a corridor which was not existent. And in that corridor, the urban local body and the state parastatal which runs buses can declare as a dedicated bus zone without affecting the existing traffic. And that will become the cheapest mode of public transport that can possibly be there. So bus transport will be greatly benefited by these roads. And as an infrastructure development agency, MMRDA's job is to enable. And as I said, so this enables the urban local body to start bus service. And this enables the traffic to move through and through, rather than going through the internal roads, which is happening today in many parts, and thereby avoiding the congestion. As we avoid congestion, we reduce the carbon emission. And as we reduce the carbon emission, we move towards net zero. So all the projects that MMRDA is doing, all these projects will ultimately go towards net zero. All these projects are LEED certified. For instance, every metro station is a platinum LEED certified building. And all these projects are going to take us towards something which is better. Now, as people will go and they will live around all these places, and as you can enjoy suburban living and downtown working, then the question comes, how do you live in the suburban areas? And anticipating that, MMRDA had requested the government that please declare us as a special planning authority around Mumbai. And today, the government of Maharashtra is pleased to appoint us as a special planning authority for 1250 square kilometers area outside MMR. So this is a huge area, and it is going to be a huge challenge. But somebody has to take the challenge, and in MMRDA we thought that we will take this challenge. We will create the apparatus and the infrastructure so that we are able to develop this area in a planned manner, so that unauthorized constructions, etc., can be regulated. I don't say that they will be stopped, but definitely they can be regulated and proper planned living can happen. Within these 1250 square kilometer of special planning authority area, obviously development will happen in parts and they will be in growth centers, and these growth centers can then be themed. So you can have a part where you focus only on logistics, you can have a part where you can focus only on IT and ITES, right? So various kind of activities can be planned, and for that economic planning is something which is required. Considering this, MMRDA had considered that we should develop an economic master plan, and then we got in touch with the NITI Aayog, and I'm happy to say that the NITI Aayog entered into an agreement with us, and later on Government of Maharashtra took it up as their project. And so NITI Aayog along with MMRDA has prepared the economic master plan for MMR, where the aim is to make MMR into a $1 trillion economy and a 300 billion economy in the next 5 years. So the whole issue is that if you have infrastructure, but if you do not have industry, if you do not have jobs, then how are you going to live there? So that is the thought behind this, and NITI Aayog has given its report. The Government of Maharashtra has accepted that report, and based on that report, now the working has already started. So we are working towards that, and we will be, that will be implemented. Paying heed to this, also there is a great need to attract foreign investment into this area. See, foreign investment has to be in following forms. When we talk about investment, we think of money. So money is definitely an investment. But other than that, investment is also in terms of technology. In fact, the real battle which India is having is of technology transfer. And we are saying, for instance, somebody says, okay, now make a green technology, introduce a green technology. So India is having a very old battle with the world. You see, you have used your fossil fuels and I could not use my fossil fuels. So now you please give the transfer technology to me, free of cost or at a cheaper rate. So that is the second thing, technology transfer. And therefore MMRDA today, I think what we have done, we were able to invite the chief of the World Economic Forum, and he had come to Mumbai, and he signed a memorandum of collaboration with the Mumbai Metropolitan Regional Development Authority. And we are perhaps the only parastatal agency in the world which has a direct agreement with the World Economic Forum. Otherwise, it is generally states, it is generally governments, and it is generally large corporates. So we would be the only parastatal in the world which has been able to do that. So therefore, this initiative of MMRDA in trying to have, planned development, in trying to have public transport, in trying to have metro rails, in trying to promote railways, in trying to promote roads, in trying to promote corridors within roads where bus travel can be made easy, and in having a planned growth and development is something which everybody needs to understand. This enablement which has been made is something which everybody needs to understand, everybody needs to use, and everybody needs to profit. So friends, we have a very, very eminent panel which is going to speak after me, and I can see all of them sitting here in the first rows. And I'm sure that evening will be full of interesting discussion. I thank you so much for inviting me and giving me this opportunity. Thank you very much.